Hello and welcome to the Blue Water Running Podcast. I'm your host, Maren, and this podcast features and celebrates the achievements of high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area of Michigan. In this episode, I am joined by St. Clair High School junior Colin Boullard. At the Anchor Bay Invitational on May 2nd, Colin ran his best of 15.12 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles, a PR by close to half a second, and he met the Division II state early qualifying mark of 15.3. Colin is currently the second fastest high school boy in the event in the Blue Water running coverage area, behind another D1 EQ hurdler, Jonah Konarz of Anchor Bay. As of the recording of this podcast, he also ranked in the top 10 in the state for the event. Colin is also a 300-meter hurdler with a PR of 41.38, which he ran just this weekend at the Marysville Invitational, placing first. Colin will give us some insight into his introduction and progression into the hurdling events, how he deals with injuries and setbacks, and what keeps him moving forward to seek improvement each year. Well, welcome to the Blue Water Running Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start out by getting to know how you first came to become a track and field athlete. Tell us about your first introduction to the sport, how you became a hurdler, and your background in all things track and field.
Okay, yeah. I first joined track in 8th grade. It was sort of like right when I stopped playing baseball, and I needed to find a spring sport to play. My older brother, Carter, was running track that year, so I figured I'd also do it. But also I had a bunch of buddies ran middle school track, so that was a big influence too. Like having a big friend group was super nice. Any nerves I had about like trying the new sport just went away having that big friend group. It was like a nice, easy connection.
So did you hurdle in middle school when you first began, or did that come about in high school later?
I hurdled in middle school. I wasn't as successful in middle school, though. I didn't take it seriously until high school.
So what made you choose hurdling as your primary event? How did you kind of become a hurdler?
I'd say there were two big influences. The first was my height. I have pretty long legs, and in 8th grade, I was slightly taller than the other kids. And the second being my grandfather. He was a real good hurdler back in the day. At one point, he held both the 110 and 300-meter hurdle records at Sterling Heights Stevenson. I'm not sure if he still does or not, but having him there was like a huge part of my early hurdling career. He gave me a great foundation to build upon, and he still helps me to this day. So
that's awesome, having a family influence like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Do you enjoy competing in any other events? I know you're focused primarily on the 110s and then the 300s as well, but is there anything else that you like to do or would like to try?
Honestly, not really. If I'm being honest, not really. I have to run the 4x4 for my team, and I can't say I like it at all.
I feel like that's the focus of many Instagram memes is the
Yeah.
I have to run the 4x4 or this gets me out of the 4x4.
I
well,
wish.
yeah. Well, what do you enjoy most about hurdling compared to other things?
It's honestly like the fact that I don't have to run laps around the track. Like, hurdles like make it exciting, It's like I enjoy the methodical part of hurdling, like, the mechanics, having to think about it, not like being disrespectful, but not just like mindlessly running laps around the track, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, it gives you something else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my daughter started doing the 300 hurdles for the first time ever. She's a senior this year, and the very first time she tried it, she just ran. She didn't really think about jumping or any of her technical skills because she doesn't really have any. So I'm curious, since you have hurdled pretty consistently for several years, do you think about what you're going to do as you approach a hurdle, or do you just kind of do it out of instinct and practice and habit?
Honestly, great question, because I feel like most of the time it's just muscle memory. Like, for the 300s, I'd say, like yesterday, at the Marysville Invite, it was mostly just like heat of the moment, like muscle memory, like just in a fluid motion type of thing. Like I wasn't thinking during the race. I was just like running.
Right.
But Yeah. Sometimes during the 110s, it's like a little different, but most of the time it's just running and like all muscle memory.
Yeah, I wondered about the 110s because that's so quick.
I
You
know,
barely
yeah.
have time to think, I would imagine. It's going to be boom boom and you're, over the
Hmm.
next one. Um, do you feel like when you first started hurdling, it took some time for you to approach a hurdle more with skill and technique and not think about it? I mean, when you first
Um,
began hurdling, did you kind of approach
Most
it and
definitely. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, most definitely. Like early on, the 300s were rough. Definitely a lot of stuttering, like was second guessing all the time. Definitely some trial and error to say the least.
hmm
Oh yeah.
I'm curious, how tall are you?
I think I'm about 6'4".
Okay, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
tall. Do you know who Grant Holloway is?
I do,
I
yes.
don't think he's very tall at all.
No, honestly, like there's a broad range of heights.
Right.
Like I know. It is surprising actually.
Well, like you mentioned, you said it helped you in middle school. Do you feel like your height is an advantage now in high school as well?
I'd say definitely. Most definitely. I think for the 110s, I mean, you're pretty much only going to be able to compete if you can three step. So having long legs definitely helps that.
hmm
For the 110s, three stepping for the 110s.
hmm
Um, so I love my height for the hurdles. Definitely, I think it's a crucial part of my somewhat success.
Do you have a set amount of steps between the 300s?
In the 300s, I think it normally, yeah, it should be like 15. I think it should be 15. I sort of forget because sometimes it's different.
hmm
Um, Sometimes it could be 17, or sometimes if it's like really quick, maybe it would be 13. But if I do a bad one, it would be like an even number. So I think it would be like maybe 16 or 18.
Okay. Well, we need to back up a little and say congrats on the EQ. That's a really big deal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I know that a lot of them have piled up this weekend too. There
I
are quite
know.
a few
Hmm.
listed. If you follow Michigan cross country speed
I
ratings,
do.
he's been posting a lot. Um, so I'm going to read a few quick sentences from the 2025 outdoor season preview, where I wrote some predictions about your hurdling, and then you can respond with your thoughts. So I put Colin Boullard of St. Clair just squeezed under the 110 AQ at last year's regional and was one of only 7 Michigan sophomores competing in the event at the state meet. He set his PR of 15.54 by taking runner up at the Blue Water Meet of Champions and ran his 300 hurdle PR, which was 42.1 at regionals. So, my question is, now that you've hit an EQ, what are your goals for the rest of the season?
Um, Definitely. Well, I think the main one at the moment, because I've already made it for the 110s, but definitely making it to states for the 300s. That's sort of more of a focus at the moment. Because I was super close last year. I think I missed it by like, I want to say it was actually like point 0.1
Mm-hmm.
seconds. I think it was.
It was, I think it was
Yeah,
42
yeah.
flat you had to
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, I was like super close last year, so I want to redeem myself a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now also, I would love to perform well at regionals. I think last year, um, Kirschner from Carlsbad was super good hurdler, and I was never able to beat him. But um, I really would like to perform well at regionals. As far as times go, I have some goals there too. Like I'd love to go sub 15 in the 110s, and also drop my 300 times into the 40s. Like maybe by a second or 2 seconds in the 300s. So
Okay. Well, you have to run a little bit in the hurdles.
I
I
know.
mean, you don't have to run a whole lap, but there is definitely some sprint training involved. That part I'm pretty familiar with. But tell me about what you do in training or for preparing for your races that is very specific just to hurdling.
Um, Try to be as specific as possible, but like stretching. I mean, stretching is a huge part of my preparation. I mean, gotta be loose, gotta be flexible, you know.
hmm
So definitely need to be stretching. I'd also say like having a good warm up. Like I have a pretty specific hurdle warm up, so that is crucial for my training because I do it every time I run. Um, Um, I'd also say like for practice wise, need to be jumping over hurdles. Like obviously that's pretty obvious, but still, I'm not saying like jump over hurdles every day, but definitely pick a day or two to have a good hurdle workout throughout the week. One thing I like to do personally is practice block starts from the 110s, but lower the hurdles to 36 inches because I like to think it helps build the speed over the hurdles. Um, so I'd say that's mostly what I do.
Okay.
Nothing too special.
So, can you share with us any advice that you received from your grandfather?
Oof. Honestly, his big one is like I got to be more flexible. Like he was like back in freshman year, he's like got to be at least able to touch your toes. I mean, touch your toes with ease. You got to be able to do that. Which is a little harder for me. My legs
Mm-hmm.
are quite longer than my
Mm-hmm.
arms, but he was definitely big on stretching. Um, and then he's just big on technique, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting over the hurdle fluid, but like quick at the same time. Got to get down quick.
Okay.
So those are his two big factors.
Okay. Well, what is the most challenging part in your mind of training for a hurdle race?
Um, Honestly, that's a great question. I'd say like at the moment, the most challenging part of my training this year has been like my shin splints, honestly. Like maybe not like the best answer, but this year, I don't know, I've had some bad shin splints and like because we do plyos as a part of our training, and it's just like super hard to do the plyos with my shins, and then like during the 300s, like like warming up, they'll hurt. But more like training specific, I'd say fatigue. Like if I'm doing a hard hurdle workout and I'm getting ready to run the last few reps, it's sometimes real hard to get over the hurdles with my legs feeling like jelly. I mean, they're just if
Mm-hmm.
my legs are dead, it's hard to work out.
Yeah, I would imagine coming down off a hurdle as well, you're hitting the ground
Hmm.
with a little bit more force than a normal runner would
Yeah.
be. So I can imagine that would put a lot of extra
Hmm.
pressure on your shins too.
I would agree.
Yeah. Well, do you train indoors during the winter?
I actually do not. I
Okay.
mean, I know probably I definitely should, but I mean, I play basketball, so
Oh,
it's
well,
sort
then,
of
that's excusable.
I would like to think so. I mean, I'd say it likes to keep me in good enough shape.
Right.
Definitely not the best of shape, but I'd say like good enough shape until March, like March 10th. Because
Right.
like right when the basketball season is over, my dad and I got straight to training for track.
Hmm.
So that
Well,
was
there's a
like,
lot of running and jumping in basketball, right?
there
You
is,
know?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, my kids are
And
basketball players too. So,
oh yeah, I know. And yeah, and like like we have a month until like the first day of practice till the first meet.
hmm.
So that month it gives me good enough time to prepare
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of benefit in doing something different in the winter. I'm not trying to discourage kids who want to run or train. There's a lot of benefit to indoor track and field, but it's also for some people more beneficial to do something else where their body gets a little break and even for a mental break. I mean, if you do the same thing all year, you can grow very tired of it or just burnt out. So,
I would completely agree actually.
yeah.
Like I mean, I would I'm glad I don't do the same thing all year round. I don't think that'd be the good fit for me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
Me either. I would
I
probably
know.
get burnt out.
I would too.
Well, how do you stay race ready year round for hurdles? So when I say year round, I mean the weather you can get in May could be 4 different seasons. So how do you get ready for a hurdle race if it's raining or if there's maybe even cold temperatures and you can't get as warmed up? Because Michigan is very unpredictable, we know, for outdoor track and field. So what works for you if you're facing some adverse conditions?
Well, I mean, I feel like this track season is like a perfect example of that. Early
Mm-hmm.
on, it was like freezing. There was snow in April.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'd say like practice wise, just play it like I'd say play it smart. Like I wouldn't hurdle if it was snowing. Like there was one practice where it was snowing. I was supposed to hurdle, and I think my coach and I just decided it was like it wouldn't be smart to hurdle. I think it would be too cold. Like the body wouldn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's raining, I think just like mind over matter. If it's raining, I'd still go out and practice normal or
Hmm.
like run normal, like race normal. So
That makes sense.
yeah.
Now, with that being said, have you ever had a really tough race where you hit a hurdle and had a bad fall because of
Um,
weather? Has that ever affected your racing before?
Never because of weather, but that's sort of a good question because I have had a bad race and a bad hurdle hit. If you want to hear the story,
Absolutely. That's why you're
um
here.
okay. Um, well, my freshman year at MAC Championships, I was running the 300s. I messed up my steps and my lead leg got stuck under the bar of the hurdle,
Ooh, ouch.
which caused me to fall forward. I ended up landing directly on my face, which caused
Ooh.
me to break my jaw, a whole
Oh
bunch of my
gosh.
teeth, my elbow, and I split my chin open. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so unfortunately, my freshman year was cut short. I didn't get a run at regionals. Um, and then bouncing back from that, going into my sophomore year, I planned on only running the 110s. But like within the first week of practice, I was talking to my coach, and she was like, "Yeah, no, you're running the 300s too." So I just said, "Okay." Um, I actually had a really good opening meet that year for the 300s, which ultimately led to a good year. So I'd say, um, bouncing back, I just had to trust myself, my coaches, and the work I put in. But yeah, it was definitely an experience.
Yeah, I'm sure that it was maybe, I'm assuming, but I would assume it would be scary to go hurdle again after a really bad fall like that. I mean, those are pretty significant injuries.
They definitely were. I'd say within that same month I was talking about, like the
Hmm.
month of preparation,
Hmm.
definitely had some ups and downs. Had a lot of second guessing, but ultimately, I mean, just really like trusting myself is a huge part. Like trusting my technique, my steps, like the work I put in is like a huge part of just the hurdling factor. So ended up being fine.
Well, I'm sure that if you know that you've done what you need to do, then you have a little more faith and trust in yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah, that helps for sure.
Mhm.
Well, what is an important part of your training or racing regimen that you take very seriously? For example, do you have a specific warm up routine that you feel is necessary for you to perform your best? Do you eat a certain food or have a certain drink? Do you use a certain supplement? There's, all these little different things that
Mhm.
each athlete does specific to them. So tell us about what works for
Um,
you.
I don't really have like a food or drink, but definitely my warm up. Like I take my warm up pretty seriously. I do every time before I run. Like even if I'm not hurdling, I'll do my same warm up that I would for hurdling. Um, every single practice or race, I'm doing my warm up the same one every single time. So I mean, that's pretty much the only thing I try to keep the same every race. Just like my warm up. Do it pretty religiously.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What is your favorite meet, or do you have a very memorable race that comes back to you from your career so far?
I mean, definitely had to have been regionals last year at North Branch. I mean, I was super happy with the results I had. I mean, getting two PRs and qualifying for states in the 110s. I didn't expect that. So that was super exciting. Like realizing I qualified for states was a super exciting moment for me. But then I remembered I had to run the 300s in less than an hour, so I had to lock back in after that.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was a great experience. And then running the good 300 race too just made the meet all that much better. Like I think it was a super great meet. The weather was awesome. I mean, I loved it. It
Hmm.
was it was awesome for me.
Yeah, we're hoping for good weather for the next week
I
too.
hope so. I
Yeah,
hope
because we've
so.
had some bad years too.
No
So,
kidding. I know.
do you have any interest in continuing your hurdling, I should say, skills, prospects, career after high school into college or to go collegiately as an athlete?
It's hard to say. I mean, I've thought about it. I mean, like, I've tried to weigh the options. I don't know. I definitely don't know because, like, obviously, my older brother continued his career
Hmm.
after high school. but I just don't know if that's what I'd want yet. I think I have to see how the season ends.
Well, you have
See
time to
how,
decide.
yeah.
You've got lots of time. Well, I know that you ran cross country for a couple of years, but you
Mhm.
did not this fall. So, what made you decide not to do that your junior year?
Yeah. Well, so freshman year cross country went really well. I mean, I loved it. I enjoyed the running, the people, the races, the environment. Um, I actually ran well my freshman year too, which made it all that much better. And I'd say having my brother there was super nice too. Like he was a
Hmm.
senior my freshman year, so that was super nice.
Hmm.
Um, then sophomore year just was not like that at all. I mean, I still enjoyed the people and I really liked our new coach, but I just hated the running part. I mean,
That's
realist,
kind of
keep,
important.
yeah. I mean, being honest, like I just did not like the running part. It felt like I had gotten so much slower and I was not performing at the level that I had hoped. I was consistently running atrocious races meet after meet, and I was just tired of it.
Right.
Um, yeah, like my freshman year, I actually enjoyed the races. I PR almost every other race, and then the runs in practice were always so much fun. So it's like it was just night and day, pretty much.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I just decided to stop running because I just fell out of love with the sport. I dreaded every run, and I just did not want to keep going through that like my sophomore
Yeah,
year. And then, yeah,
that makes
basically,
sense.
yeah. And then my little brother, he's a freshman this year, so
Okay.
he was gonna run. He was gonna play tennis. So ultimately, in like August, I decided I'd join the tennis team. So I switched from cross country to tennis in the fall.
Well, at least you can be honest that you didn't enjoy it. And I think a lot of athletes, that's okay to say that and to do something else because if you,
Yeah.
like you said, if you dread going to every practice, then, why? Why would you want to
And
do
I
it?
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was just
exactly.
wasn't my cup of tea anymore.
Well, did you enjoy tennis?
I did, yeah. I had a good
Okay.
season. It was
Okay.
fun. It was fun being around. It was a new group of guys, so that was fun.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's, to each their own.
I know. Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
All right. Do you have something that you love to eat after you're done competing? Like you don't have to worry about running with something in your stomach and you can have what you want. What would you pick?
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely say my favorite post race food is Popeyes. I
Mm,
I love their chicken sandwich. I mean, I just love all their food actually. I
I,
think it's a yeah, great establishment. I love their food. They have great chicken tenders too.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'd say a far second place is Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
Those would be my two options for post race.
All right. I think we had another guest. I can't remember who it was, but somebody else said Popeyes too. So
I know it
yeah,
just
that
always
makes,
is hitting, always
yep,
hits the spot.
it does. Pretty good. Well, when you're not racing and when you're not at school or practicing, what do you like to do with your downtime, or do you have hobbies that you enjoy?
I mean, probably the basic answer here, but I really enjoy hanging out with my friends. Um, just like a nice, yeah, just love hanging out with my friends. Or I say another thing I love to do is just lounge around and relax. Like after a long week of practice, meets, and homework, I love to just relax in my room and pretty much do nothing, just
Hmm.
lay on my bed. Um, but more of like an active thing, hobby I like to do. I love to cut grass. Um, and I love it a whole lot more when I cut it for money. So
Well, that
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Um, do you like the smell when you
I
cut
do.
when you cut?
Hmm.
Okay, because
Yeah,
whenever I run by someone that's cutting their grass, I don't know, it has this effect, like it brings back all these memories
I
of being a
know.
kid and
Just summer.
yeah.
Just feels like
Yes.
smells like summer.
Oh no, when I hear that people are allergic to grass, I feel so sad because that would be awful,
It would be
especially if
it
you're a
would be
cross country
terrible.
runner. Ooh, yeah.
That would be terrible.
Well, that's a good wholesome outdoor activity where you can
Hmm.
just kind of be alone with your thoughts and
I
enjoy the
know. It's just
sunshine and
like so peaceful.
yeah.
Always like, especially when the weather's nice, like today,
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah,
peaceful.
it's beautiful.
I know. Satisfying.
Actually, yeah, my husband said he was going to mow the lawn. I'm like, you can't. I'm going to do a podcast. We don't need that in the background. Yeah, that would be a little distracting, I think.
Oh, good thing my dad cut it earlier this morning. So
Well, I've never picked up any background noise in any of my episodes yet,
that's
except for
good.
the one time I actually knocked my microphone off the table and it fell on the floor, but that was all right.
That's okay.
Yep. Other than that, we're all good. Okay. So, do you have a favorite professional athlete? And it does not have to be someone from the track and field world. It could be anybody that you really enjoy watching.
Okay, I'd say I have two.
Okay.
The first one being Johnny Beers Flammer. He's not quite pro, but I have high hopes that he'll make it one day. He's such an inspiration to me, and he is actually a track and field athlete. So I'm
Okay.
sticking with the theme.
Okay.
But then probably one more, well, one that you'd actually know, I'd say, is Grant Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously just a super good hurdler, um, super inspirational. I've even watched some of his YouTube videos. Um, I mean, super good. I also like him because it's like a built-in excuse for when somebody asks me why I wear split shorts for hurdling. Um, I mean, that's just being honest. I say like that's what the best hurdlers in the world do because he wears split shorts and he's one of the best. So
That is so funny because my husband and I talk all the time about why nobody wears shorts in track and field. They all wear like those spandex. I don't know if they have a name
I
for them. You know what
know
I'm talking
it.
about? Like the long
Yeah.
tight. And
Um,
sprinters, I get it. Like you probably want something that isn't moving around at all, but I gotta be old school. I prefer the shorts. I feel like that's
I
track and field.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've just worn them my freshman year because
Hmm.
of cross country. Like at my school, we had a cross country kids had to wear the cross country uniforms for
Hmm.
track, and I don't know. Like, just since then, it's just like, I guess you could add that to part of my regiment or
Yep.
regime, or
Yep.
it's just like split shorts. I just need to wear them.
Well, as a very tall young man, I imagine that probably presents a challenge because they're not super long.
No, they aren't too long, but
Yeah, yeah.
you
Well,
know, just using Grant Holloway as an excuse is just such a
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
necessity,
that
I
brings a
guess.
little extra respect, I suppose.
Reassurance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Respect, reassurance.
Hmm. My husband said during the Olympics, I like that guy because he's wearing regular shorts. That's actually what he said. He's like, I'm rooting for him because not because he
I
was an
agree.
American athlete, but because he had regular shorts
I
on.
agree. Yes.
Mhm.
I just like them. I like
Yep.
them better than the splish. I forget what the other one, tights
Yeah,
maybe, or
yeah, yeah. And you
yeah.
know what? If that's what you like to race in, good
Yeah.
for you. I really don't care.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Thank you.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what is one thing that people would be surprised, besides the fact that you like to mow grass, surprised and like split shorts, surprised to learn about you that we don't already know?
It's a little, honestly, I'd say probably that I beat my older brother on the SAT.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, some shade here.
I know. Yeah. I mean, just being honest, I scored almost like 100 points better than him, and a lot of people would say he's smarter than me. Me personally, I'm not saying that, but a lot of people would. So I think that was super nice seeing
Hmm.
that. I scored
Well,
much better than him.
little sibling rivalry.
I know. Oh, trust me, it exists. Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah. And we will let the listeners draw their own conclusions. We won't make
Thank you.
any judgments about who is the smarter brother.
Yeah, pretty
Although
controversial subject.
I'm sure. And I will say, as a teacher, students' intelligence and aptitude is not always captured in one standardized test, but
I would
hey,
agree.
it's still a bragging right. So,
It is. I'm bragging
yeah,
about it. Trust
yeah,
me,
you
I'm
should.
using it. Oh yeah,
Hey,
like
whatever works.
I'm not letting go of that one.
Well, this is not a scripted question, but I wanted to ask you just to get a picture since St. Clair is not in the BWAC and the majority of our athletes in the Blue Water area do participate in the BWAC or the MAC in one division or another. So, what is something special about St. Clair High School that you would like other people to know?
Um, Great question. I'd say the environment, like all the people are really high spirited, you know, like all super encouraging of one another. Um, Obviously, like we've had a good cross country program for a
Hmm.
few years. And so like they're super encouraging of everybody. The sprinters are super nice. Like we have a great senior class of athletes, all super encouraging of any incoming freshmen. Um, yeah, just I mean the seniors are a huge part of our team, I'd say. Like,
Yep.
oh yeah. I mean, they're always there. Great leaders, great captains, super good spirits. Everybody's always there cheering.
Yeah, that's really important for your culture, for sure.
Oh yeah, we have great culture, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone's listening and you're a senior, you are building the future of your athletic program. So, set the bar high, be a good example.
I know. Yeah. It is set high.
Yeah. So what are you hoping to achieve at the state meet? What is the bucket list goal? If you could write the perfect script for the day, what would be the ending for you for your season?
Well, I mean, like if I'm getting perfect script, it'd be standing up there with the number one. But I'd say winning would be the perfect script, but more realistically, I'd say like all state. I mean, just making it to the finals in the 110s would be awesome. Or even if I'm lucky enough to make it to the states with the 300s, all state in that too would be awesome. Like the kid from Marysville, he got all state last year in the 300s,
yes,
and
yep.
I would love to be right there with him.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, we will keep an eye on what comes next. Regionals is coming up soon, and I'm excited to see what happens next for you because you've already had some real highlights so far this year. So it can only go up from here, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, we hope so too. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to tell me about your season and who you are as a person, because that just gives a little more humanity to the athletes that we see doing these amazing things. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'll leave you today with a quote by Grant Holloway, the 2024 Paris Olympic gold medalist in the 110-meter hurdles and the second fastest man in history, with a personal best of 12.81 seconds. He is also a 3-time outdoor world champion, and in the 60-meter hurdles, Holloway is a 3-time world indoor champion and the world indoor record holder, with a time of 7.27 seconds set at the 2024 U.S. Indoor Track and Field Championships. Run fast and do what you have to do. I try to not even stress. You just let me know where and when I need to run. The main thing is executing and being prepared and ready when it matters most. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Please share an episode to help spread the word about Blue Water Running's mission, which is to feature and celebrate the achievements of high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from our area. You can follow Blue Water Running on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, along with athlete and meet reports and photographs on the website at bluewaterrunning.org. Coverage of Blue Water Running is sponsored in part by Elite Feet of Port Huron. If you need running shoes, spikes, or apparel, they have a friendly and knowledgeable staff to help you find the right fit, and they've spent years supporting our local athletes in the Blue Water area. They are located at 327 Huron Avenue in downtown Port Huron. For Lindy Insurance, located in Richmond, Michigan, is also a supporter of coverage on Blue Water Running. Training as an athlete teaches you resilience and preparation. Apply those lessons to your life with your insurance plans. Be ready for anything with them by your side.